I'll get us started, and we'll just do some quick introductions, and then we'll get into everything UniDex is building on Metis and universally through DeFi and the whole Web3 ecosystem. So, I'm Anthony. Nice to be here. Good morning, everybody. Well, good morning from my end. I see a couple familiar faces here today with us, and this is a Metis community space led by Metis ambassadors, myself, Ali, who's a co-host, and also Prince, who may be joining soon. And we've been hosting these spaces since last month, since the first week of September. We've had Elena on, who is a co-founder of Metis. We've had Aman on, who's biz dev for Metis. We've had different projects like Polaris and Vast on, and we've had community members who are influencers in the community and in space on to share what they're working on and building more collaborations among all of us. So we host this space to build the Metis community even through a bear market. We want a strong community, so when the market picks back up, it's not that this is about the market picking up or anything, but just things get quiet during the bear market, and so the people that are here right now are the ones that are really building the future of Web3, whether it's on the community side, the technological side, the financial side, whatever it may be. The ones that are here are the ones building and pioneering the way forward for those that come in later when things are looking good and there's money sloshing around everywhere. That's when people come back in. So, um, but yeah, so we're here just trying to build strong community, like I said, and inviting different projects and community members from the Metis ecosystem on. Oh, Prince is joined. Awesome. And yeah, and so I'll pass it on to Ali if you're able to speak, just to quickly introduce yourself. Maybe not able to speak. Prince, I think, let me see. I'm not sure if you're having trouble. Okay, cool. Prince, would you like to introduce yourself before we open it up to Unidex?
Hello guys. Hello guys. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And sorry, can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. 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 Sorry for jumping in late. I was actually just coming from another call. So what's up guys? What's up guys? It's another episode. My name is Prince. Yeah, one of Metis content ambassadors. Right. We host these weekly spaces. For those who already knows, we host these spaces weekly to discuss Metis generally and what's going on. And today we have Unidex. Right. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. Also sorry for I missed last week. I wasn't actually feeling very well, but now I'm better now. So, without wasting much time, I already wasted time joining in, so I'll just hand it over to Unidex, right?
No worries, no worries, and glad you're feeling better. Glad you're here, and take the rest that you need. And Ali, if your site is working, go ahead and jump in anytime. If not, we'll open it up to Unidex and yeah, just maybe introduce yourself, who's on board or today from Unidex, and then maybe introduce the project to our community here and what you're building.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start with who I am. I'm actually the founder of the project. My name is Kernal Amin. And I started Unidex back in October of 2020, actually. So we've been here for quite a while. But yeah, I'm actually the founder of the project. I'll be, talking with you guys today. And I guess if we want a little quick summary of, what we're actually doing here, well, we focus on creating one, trading terminals, and two, creating synthetic/derivative products for people to actually trade. So, for example, on Metis, we actually have two of these things. We allow people to do aggregation, charting, and all these other fancy tools. But then on the other side as well, something that we've had a little bit more interest of recently is the derivative side. So we actually let you do leverage trading on a lot of different synthetics, things like blue chips of crypto, forex markets, traditional finance, commodities, you name it, basically, right? And we let you trade those really flexible leverage options as well, all purely synthetic, but it's it's effectively a trading terminal, and that's what we do best. And so yeah, that's a very brief short rundown of what we're doing here and who I am.
Cool. That sounds amazing. So it's like a one-stop shop for everything DeFi. So if I'm coming in, I'm able to access pretty much all trading tools that are out there, but through DeFi.
Yeah, one of the things that we like to do is make sure that the user doesn't have to like jump through any hurdles to do what they need to do. So, like for example, on our spot trading side, for swapping tokens, we have an aggregator. We actually aggregate other aggregators on the open market. So this actually lets us guarantee that you're getting that best rate. So the name of that game is just basically saving you money. And then at the same time, we'll also show you trading information. So any recent trades. And then for charting, we actually pull directly from Dex Screener. And so you always have the most, highest quality of charting data as well. And then on top of that, we're also providing limit orders. That's not something that's too common here in DeFi, but that's like an essential tool in centralized exchanges. We actually do aggregated limit orders. So that's not something that too many people are actually offering. And so we save you money, we save you time, and we give you high quality data as well.
Nice. That's awesome. So come with data, the tools that you'd regularly find like on a centralized exchange, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And it seems like the next stage of DeFi, like as people come in, especially like traders who maybe trade on centralized exchanges and trade, stocks and things like that. These are the types of tools that it seems like they're waiting for so they can start like using in DeFi and using in crypto. And that seems kind of like the thing that's not there yet in DeFi, but it's like it's coming, and you're one of the main projects that's bringing it.
Yeah, for sure. And we actually like to separate our product into two different products. So we have anything that's swapping related, and then we have anything that's derivatives, synthetics, basically in a different terminal. And that's what we've been, had a huge or more larger social presence on. It's that derivatives terminal. But both are equally, beneficial for traders.
All right, that's really cool. That's really cool. Actually, I have a question, right? So, in
Yeah.
summary, what you're saying is because actually, what did it like a brief listen, I didn't actually have time to go through, but what I could understand is like basically this is more like it's a trading platform, perpetuals, just like how it's done in the CX, only that everything is done on chain. Yeah.
Yeah. All self-custodial.
So, like for instance, now if I'm using Binance to like trade short, long, I can do that on UniDex with my limits and all.
Yeah, you can do it all on UniDex, and more specifically, all on Metis as well. You don't have to use Binance. You don't have to worry about things like KYC, or more specifically, if Binance is cheating you. And here, it's an all transparent system, and you're offered exactly the same tools that you would have at Binance as well, and actually more.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. So, relating it to Binance, yeah.
Yeah,
So, could you say, I say sorry, I meant Metis.
yeah.
So, I almost all tokens on Metis listed on Unidex for trading.
Yeah, well, so we have synthetic assets, and it depends on which chain that you're on. So, for example, if you're connected to the platform on Metis, um, you'll actually be able to trade quite a few blue chips. and it just basically depends on the liquidity available. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but yeah, we do offer a lot of different trading pairs, and it usually is added based on liquidity available.
All right, cool. That's nice. I mean, if we're talking about going away from the clause of centralization, I mean, we should be talking about having a trading platform that is completely decentralized. You know, everything on chain. Unlike I have to go to Binance, Mexi, the rest centralized exchanges to make trades. Right. I think you guys are really doing something cool. So far, what project developments like what stage of building are you guys on? How many chains do you guys support aside Metis for now?
Yeah, well, so our spot trading side, for swapping tokens, we do support about 14 different networks. We're very multi-chain on that side. We're also about to do cross-chain trading as well. And not only that, for our leverage trading side of things, we currently support 4 different networks. We started the leverage trading protocol on Phantom, but then quickly expanded into other layer twos, and including Binance Smart Chain. So Metis, we initially supported, I believe it's been about a month now, a month and a half, maybe a month. So we've just recently launched a Metis for leverage trading, but not that many chains are supported for that yet. But that's not that important, I guess, because Metis is very cheap and very fast L2, and now you have that whole on-chain leverage trading experience here.
Cool. So like how long would it take developments like for leverage trading to be available on Metis?
Well, yeah, we do already support leverage trading on Metis, and it's it wasn't actually too hard to support because, like I said, we've already supported Phantom, and porting it over to Metis is basically no work. So we did have it up pretty fast, but it took about 3 to 4 months of development time to really get the protocol down to something that's safe for everyone, especially safety of the poolers and also safety of the traders. So it took quite a bit to get it down correctly, but then once we had everything, we went ahead and deployed, and then we started adding new chains, and just kicked off from there.
All right, that's really cool. One more question for me before I go. I think I'm asking too many questions. I mean, asking you directly saves me a lot of stress of going to read white papers and all that, so you pardon me.
Yeah.
So, are there any thoughts or plans in development to have like like an app, a mobile app or desktop app aside having to go to the sites, the website?
Yeah, so we actually have been experimenting a little bit more with the mobile site, just because we know that's not a place that crypto seems to touch on too much. If you actually look at how many mobile apps there are of, some of our favorite DeFi protocols, I mean, there's 1inch, they have their own, mobile app, but there's DYDX, and I think that's about it that I can name off the top of my head. So we've actually been exploring, what can we do on the mobile space, and to really give a good fluid experience as a native mobile app. We don't have too many plans for a native desktop app, just because the experience might not actually differ too much from a web app versus a desktop app. But definitely, we've been looking at the mobile app. We can't promise anything coming out anytime soon, but it's definitely been on our list.
All right, that's really cool because actually think about it like if we're talking about when you're talking about ease of use, user experience, and all, it's one thing to offer trading, perpetuals, limits, and all on chain, but then the question of how easy to use is it? I mean, I could easily just go open my Binance app and place a trade. It's far easier to do than to go like go log on the website and then wait for it to load, then connect my wallet and then wait for everything to load. I know it's kind of makes adoption quite easier when there's an app that one could just easily go to. And since the team has that in plan, I mean that's great stuff. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to mute my mic. I think Ali has something to say.
Yes,
Ali, are you with
thank
us?
you, Prince. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, great. Uh, I was basically going through this amazing decks, and I didn't even know that there were so many features you guys were offering. And when I did some further research, the close competitors you guys have, like One Inch, Matcha, Orion, and Katna, they are not even offering 10% of what you are offering to your users. Like you are offering limit orders, you're offering order book, spot trading, and even you're offering ETF products, and you are even allowing your users to trade stock indexes. So how did you come up with all these features? Did you had some sort of customer feedback, or you're trying to compete with some other protocol, or is it simply you're trying to outdo yourself? I just wanted to ask you this first question.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, like, it's never really been like, we need to outcompete somebody or anything. It's just like we found a hole in the market that, like, it's it seems strange that I couldn't, do an on-chain, forex trade at basically what we've been seeing on centralized exchanges, or see some of the same trading pairs that we've seen. Like ETFs are a very popular trading pair in for the stock market, but not so much in the crypto market. But it would be something pretty beneficial, right? Everyone is always suggesting, diversify your assets, but we don't make it easy for people to diversify their assets. And so we took it upon ourselves to basically go ahead and do that. Start creating trading pairs that people would definitely go into, make it easy for them to do that, and also just remove that barrier of entry for a lot of these pairs. It's not easy for someone um, in the US to access some forex markets, or it's not easy for some people to access some tokens in general because you would have to go through Binance, but a lot of US customers can't use Binance. And so we wanted to make all these things available for you, no matter what part of the world that you're in, while also adding, a little bit of our own touch onto there, right? And so that's how it really started kicking off.
Ali, are you there? Ali. All right. I don't know. I think Ali is having some connection issues, so I cannot really say maybe you answer these questions. But that's really great because I actually had the question in my mind, like, okay, so if about like, okay, if why would one want to consider, like going on chain, and I know when you could easily use Binance, and then you already touched stuff about it, saying for instance, some tokens that cannot be found on centralized exchanges, or about restrictions in some certain areas, which is actually very great utility. I mean, with that's really really cool to consider that. So I think Anthony was about to say something.
No, yeah. I just wanted to ask because so you brought up like some of the tools that are available on the Metis network already, and that there's Metis is a very fast and very cheap layer 2 that offers the security of Ethereum. And so I was wondering what plans does UniDex have, going forward, with the Metis DeFi ecosystem, and any stuff in store on a roadmap to integrate with Metis.
Yeah, for sure. So, we've actually rolled out a few features that, even though Metis isn't our highest TVL chain that we support for leverage trading, we've rolled out a lot more features on there just because it's more feasible to do it here than what would be on our Phantom deployment, for example. Just because of the transaction speed, for example, just one thing that we can have. And so a couple things that we've done, for example, is there's a lot more trading pairs that you can actually trade on the Metis deployment as opposed to the Phantom deployment. For example, you can actually go long on GMX on our platform only on the Metis deployment, but not on the Phantom deployment. Just because it's a little bit faster, a little bit less delay for the Oracle and whatnot. And so that's just one advantage that we can have with this deployment here. And, that's one of the few ways that I can actually highlight how it's a pretty good beneficial movement for the project to deploy on this L2. And even a few things that we even have on our roadmap, things like limit orders and whatnot. Trade execution speed is pretty important. One thing that we've actually even seen on our Phantom deployment is users have to worry about gas, and gas, basically starting a gas war. Just as that recent news event played out today, I think gas on Phantom spiked to about 80K, which is about like $15 to $16 per swap, and a lot of the chain was frozen, and that created a very poor trading experience for a lot of our traders. But interestingly, the Metis deployment was completely unaffected, just because those transactions process almost instantly. You don't have to worry about those gas wars, and it was a very smooth sailing experience over here. And that's just one of the benefits that we can have. And when we introduce things like trailing stop loss orders and so forth for our leverage trading protocol, that same smooth experience is going to carry over. We can have those same features on the Phantom deployment or Binance Smart Chain deployment, but ultimately those trades are going to be triggering faster on an L2, specifically Metis over here. So the trading experience is always going to be a lot more smooth here than what we would see on Phantom or Binance Smart Chain. So yeah, it's traders clearly have been loving it because we've seen that TVL growing and that volume growing as well on our deployment here.
Amazing. That's awesome. And that's exciting to hear about how your rollout has been through Metis and how it wasn't even affected on some of these, things that happen on other chains. And so I think that's what Metis offers is this, near instant execution speed and uh, very cheap transactions. You avoid gas wars, things like that. And so it's good to hear that it actually benefiting the trading experience on a project like UniDex. And so, I'm excited to see what is in store and what continue to be built. And I know you all have plans, to be a universal, and almost are, it seems like, but a universal DeFi trading platform that incorporates pretty much every chain and things like that. So what are your like larger roadmap goals and things in store for yourselves?
Yeah, well, I keep mentioning it, the leverage trading protocol, but that's because we have a pretty large focus on this product that we've been really pushing for the past few months here. A lot of what we're doing now is centered around improving the experience here that we can give to traders for synthetics. A few things that we're doing is offering a lot more interesting trading pairs. Things like allowing you to trade interest rates, allowing you to trade spreads, even allowing you to trade some more exotic trading pairs, things like things that you would find in GameFi, like for example, trading the in-game currency USD value, and so things like that you pretty much would never find anywhere else, allowing you to have access to markets like that.
That's
That's
awesome.
one area
And
that we're
that's actually something I've never heard before, at least not in DeFi. So I think that's really cool, and I think that's gonna bring in a lot of people once they start seeing all this stuff they have access to on the platform. These are the kind of like exotic
yeah.
things that traders, like deep traders, really love, and that I have friends that are into like this stuff and I don't even understand it that much, and I'm like, okay, so I feel like my friends would would use UniDex to start accessing this and get into the crypto world.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that we've been, really trying to push with ever since the start of when we started offering these synthetics. Outside of that, we're pretty focused on things like, what would separate our leverage trading protocol from some of the other guys in the space. So, like, for example, or possibly the biggest leverage trading protocol out right now would be like something like GMX. And so we're trying to do things that would separate us from our friends over there. And some of the few ways that we can do that, for example, is offering a lot more type of trigger orders. So like things that can like help you be a better trader or be a safer trader, things like stop loss orders, but training stop loss orders, and adding a whole bunch of this functionality that we've seen on the spot trading side, and now we want to bring that over to the leverage trading protocol. But even deeper beyond that, something that we're really trying to do is make sure 100% of the protocol is entirely decentralized. Because right now, all leverage trading platforms, no matter what it is, there's always a hint of centralization. Maybe the front end is centralized. There's a central team hosting the front end, or maybe the oracles are slightly centralized. Whatever it may be. Something that we're really pushing for over the next few months is to make sure that if everyone on the team were to just go silent in every way possible, the protocol would still function and the token DAO itself would be flawlessly executing as if we were there, hands on. So that's something that we're really trying to focus on, especially with things like regulatory uncertainty and things that can just randomly come up, that you can't really expect. We're really trying to push for making 100% of our stack entirely decentralized, and that means decentralized hosting with IPFS, even decentralized cloud hosting with things like the Akash network and stuff like that. Even our oracles, trying to make sure that that is entirely decentralized. That's basically the name of our next few months. Try to decentralize everything that we possibly can.
That's amazing. I love that, and that's the ethos of Web3. The ethos of Metis is to decentralize everything or as much as humanly possible. And so I seen on your website that when on the about us part introducing the team, it says 50% of a trading platform or product is the traders, and the other 50% is the team. And it sounds like you're trying to make it 100% the traders and 0% the team eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. That quote is a little bit more specifically to our token, because we also see like a lot of predatory tokens, really, right? Like, I'm not trying to call shots here, but like things like DYDX token, it's essentially just a token that VCs had, and we didn't believe in that same philosophy. We give 50% of all the trading platform revenue back to those token holders. But eventually, under this decentralization movement that we're now trying to push to, is exactly like you said, right? Things would have there would be a validator node system, and eventually 100% of those fees would go to just the holders.
All right, that's really cool. Quick one. I don't know if I just haven't checked well, but is there a token for UniDex yet?
Yeah. There is a token. We actually do have it on Metis. We had it on Tethys, but recently we shifted around that liquidity just a little bit, especially as they're doing a little bit of changes for their protocol. Currently, most token liquidity is on the Phantom side. But there is some liquidity that you can actually access on the Metis chain, so you can go ahead and buy or sell whatever you want to do, right? Over there, its function is, like I just mentioned, 50% of all protocol fees are actually sent to these token holders, and you can use that to do whatever you want. We have zero inflation for our token. 100% of the supply is emitted. It's all real yield, essentially. This whole movement that's really started. We've been doing it first, all the way back in 2020. So rewards are actually paid out in USDC. There's no token inflation. The APR is 100% natural, and is a direct derivative of how much people actually use our product. And we've done about 500 million in volume actually, and over the past 6 months. So people love the product, and holders have been rewarded for that activity. And we're hoping for another 500 million. Let's say hopefully in a month, right? But yeah.
That's really impressive. I'll go check out the token. I didn't actually know. I mean, I checked the bio. I didn't see any token there, so I'll go check it out. Probably what's holding, so I can get some of those fees, those shares.
Yeah. Right.
All right, cool. All right. So like I always say, this is not just a co-host, host, speaker kind of space. This is actually an open community space. So, in case you're listening to us, you have any questions, any observations, contributions, while we still have our guest with us, feel free to request the mic, please.
I would like to ask a question to the UniDex guy. Basically, I wanted to ask that I learned that you are going through a rebranding soon and you're going to change your name as well. So, uh, I just wanted to ask, are you also planning to change your tokenomics as well? Because, normally when projects rebrand, there is some sort of a revamp on tokenomics as well. So
No.
this is one thing I wanted to ask.
Yeah, there's going to be zero changes to the tokenomics. We're just basically rebranding our image, just because we originally started this in October of 2020, and around then the only other two dexes were either there's Bancor, there's Uniswap, and SushiSwap only just started. And so we position ourselves as a trading suite for Uniswap, and that's how the name kind of came. Eventually, it evolved into universal DEX, just because we did a lot of really good aggregation. But now that we've evolved into just something even more than just aggregation, we think it's fair and about time that we go through a rebrand, give ourselves a fresh new look. The tokenomics are going to stay exactly the same. We would never change something like that. We think that's predatory, and we're here to make sure that we reward the people that have been along with us this entire journey.
Nice. So, is this Dex built on the Cosmos chain? I would like to ask.
Not currently. That is our plan for
Okay.
full decentralization. Something that we really do really well is anything aggregation and cross chain, right? And Cosmos connected chain will actually allow you to trade from Metis to our Cosmos connected chain, actually. So it doesn't matter what chain that you'll actually be on, you'll be able to access the liquidity that exists within all these other different networks. So you can be an Arbitrum user, you can be a Metis user, a Phantom user, you would be tapping into liquidity on our own Cosmos connected chain. Currently, we don't have that system out yet, but that's part of our decentralization push, to have a whole system of validators, stakers, etc., validating the whole protocol.
So, what about the regulatory part of this? As you mentioned earlier, that some of the products, financial products, are not easily available in the US, and as we currently seeing that SEC is pushing for a lot of projects, pushing against a lot of projects. How do you think if it's gonna be affecting Unidex by any means?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's kind of part of the reason why we started doing this decentralization push. Just because that was always a concern. Even though more than 90% of the dev team isn't even in the US. We know that the US does like to overreach sometimes, um, put their hands basically where they shouldn't. And so we wanted to make sure that this is an unstoppable protocol. Even if they were to come out and do something, right, they wouldn't be able to stop the protocol in any way. The protocol will still function. It'd be hosted on IPFS, or anybody can just host it themselves. In fact, we might even start a program to incentivize users to host their own front end. But these are just basically safeguards against what would be an attack like that would come from a governing body. So the protocol wouldn't be able to be stopped.
Yeah, normally I don't ask projects about the regulatory part, but I saw you guys offering so many different products, and all are very well targeted products. I would say, like I am amazed that I didn't know about the project earlier, but I'm definitely very excited to hear about this. So that is why I wanted to ask about the regulatory part.
Right. Yeah. No. It's definitely been it's been a topic. And like you said, we offer a lot of trading pairs. But yeah, that's part of our whole transition. That's something that we're trying to actually finish a rollout by the end of actually this year. So it's not too far along the way. We've actually been doing this. It's been a process for the past 2 to 3 months now. The whole planning and changes that we've been making for that. So
That's cool. That's cool. So, what about the marketing part? Since the beer market has started, and how do you plan on gaining more traction? How do you what is your marketing roadmap? We have for the entire session we have talked about the technical developments, and I would say you have an amazing team and an amazing project. But how do you tell your users that how you're gonna be using your marketing?
yeah, for sure. And that is admittedly one thing that we're not too good at. We build very good products. That's one. But something that we do lack a little bit on the marketing side is actually getting that word out. Um, Currently, we've mostly been focused on making sure that the protocol itself is basically your the best experience that you can possibly have. That way, nobody is going out falsely advertising to people and then being disappointed and never coming back. We wanted to make sure that what we have really actually is the best. And now that we've gotten there, we're starting to do a lot more things like trading competitions. We actually put out a Medium article today covering that. We built a full dashboard to basically track P&L of the top few users and whatnot. And this can actually start a rotating trading competition, which is something that we can even sponsor with Metis, for example, or maybe not. But we can always just have that regardless, and start getting the community engaged and having fun essentially, right? Um, we've really focused a lot on making sure that the product itself is good before we start doing any major marketing pushes. And now that we think we're actually there, we offer the most amount of trading pairs, the most flexible amount of leverage, no, weird rules for like trading or anything like that. It's like a lot of other protocols have like a minimum leverage. We think that's predatory. We wanted to make sure that the protocol didn't have something like that. So now that we're there, we have the best protocol. Now we're actually starting to do things that help users get the word out. We're also rolling out things like referral addresses, so you can tell your friends and make sure you're incentivized for telling your friends. Trading competitions, or even just making things more marketable by our users. Things like a shared trade feature. We're actually experimenting with a thing where you can actually take your position, and once you close it, you can mint that as an NFT, and then just post it and share it online. Right? It's a step beyond just taking a screenshot of what would be your trade and then posting it on Twitter and showing off. Now you can have a little bit more fun with it. I think things like this are just help get the community a little bit more engaged with not only the protocol but also with each other.
Right, right. That's great. Since you talked about the leverage part and you're offering
such high leverage, what are the security and safety measures for your users you have opted for? Because when it comes to protocols and when it comes to decentralized exchanges, this is one topic that has been highlighted very often.
Sorry, what was that? I think you cut out the start of the question.
Yeah, I yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was basically asking you about the safety and security measures at UniDex.
Oh, do you mean like on a contract auditing side or like just healthy relationships, I guess?
I am asking about both of these, about
Okay.
contracts, because
Yeah.
contracts are being exploiting almost every day. So whenever you use a bridge or whenever you use a dex, I think users want to know what are some of the safety measures which you can highlight.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll start on the the more programmable side of things. So the contract, it's actually had a bug bounty program, like a public bug bounty program that anybody can just submit their white hat reports for quite a while, and there wasn't anything significant found for quite a while. And above that, as part of deploying onto Metis, we've actually even gone and done a third party audit on the entire protocol, and you can actually view those results online. It's done by HashX actually, and really the only thing that we and this actually goes into the next question. The only thing that users would need to be worried about is what centralization things that the team themselves can do. So we're pretty confident already that this is exploit proof. Fingers crossed, right? We can never be too sure. Every protocol thinks they're exploit proof before they get exploited. But above that, it's like, how centralized is this from an admin perspective, right? So things that we've done from that would be things like multisigs. So we can't just randomly set the fee to be 100% or something like that and basically manipulate our users. So we have those gated behind multisigs and whatnot. Um, and above that, things that we're trying to do, I keep going back to it, is make sure that it's decentralized. So anytime there needs to be a contract change, this would go through, the DAO at that point. It wouldn't be through just a multi-sig of a few people. There might be some inefficiencies with getting a lot of people to vote, but hey, that's what it's going to be to make sure that this is an unstoppable protocol. So even above that, it gets even more safe from an admin controls perspective a few months down the line from here as well. But already as it is, I hope users can trust us with this track record. We've been in the space for 2 years. We're all public, and so we're confident already in the security side of our code. On top of that, we hope that you can also trust us with the few things that are slightly centralized in terms of the admin controls.
Wow, that's great. It's just for our listeners who are listening to this, I wanted to add that while researching for Unidex Exchange, I found them having the best, one of the best P values. This P is ratio is basically what investors look when they are trying to, or when they are looking to invest in projects. So this one is definitely a project to look for. Especially, I would say the number of features they are offering and the innovation they are offering is awesome. Um, I think I'm done with the questions on my end. If anyone from the audience would like to join the stage and ask questions directly to the Unidex Exchange representative, please feel free to ask.
Yes, thank you. It's been a great conversation so far. And please, if you have anything to ask, please request, and we'll let you up ASAP. And as we wait, if for people to ask or to join, I had a question. Do y'all have any plans of becoming a DAO, or is there even any need to become a DAO moving forward?
Yeah. Like I mentioned, with our decentralization push, you would essentially be able to have your stake tokens be used for voting on the protocol, whatever it may be.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Um, yeah, and then another thing I wanted to respond to is I love the APR for the Unidex token is like natural. It's through fees revenue, and it's not like these emissions or this imaginary,
Right.
taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think we have. If we go based off of token terminal data, right now we actually have the second lowest price to sale ratio, which is good. The lower the number, that means the more realistically priced it is. And currently, based on token terminal, we rank the second lowest, which means second best. That's something that we're, you know, pretty well and happy for seeing that. Actually, we see like tokens like sushi that are actually evaluated, sometimes even like 100 or 300 times their their actual revenue that they actually generate. And we're over here, I think we're I forgot the number. I want to say 8, which is puts us in second best, and so we're pretty proud.
That's amazing, and yeah, I really respect that. The value and the value of the project is legitimate and accurate. The way it's being displayed. To the public. So, that's one of the things that you have to look out for in the crypto world is like things are sometimes overvalued, and don't actually produce the or generate the revenue that of the actual value. So, um, that's pretty awesome. And then I guess the last question from my end, is there any LP opportunities within Unidex, like from any of I know it's an aggregator and it's taking from different exchanges and things like that. Is there any token LP opportunities within Unidex or no?
Token LPs, not no, not currently. We did have a promotion with Tethys, but that expired after they had some tokenomic changes recently. But then also on top of that, uh, we do have the leverage trading protocol, and that works off of a single staking pool. So right now there's a single stake Metis pool. I think it's paying about like 29% APR, and that's without any incentives whatsoever. There's also an ETH pool on the leverage trading protocol as well, and that's also single stake. So users can go ahead and single stake their Metis or ETH, and because it is also natural yield, like we'll have to also put the disclaimer that it's not risk free. So there is time periods where you can experience negative APR, and I can go ahead and talk a little bit about that, how the leverage pools work. But there is single stake Metis pools and ETH pools that serve as the counterparty to all the trades on the leverage trading protocol for Metis.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask if there's any like staking opportunities, and so it seems like there is, and for the leverage trading. So that's pretty cool. Definitely gonna check that out myself. Um, yeah, that was the last question from my end. Not sure if I don't think others have requested to join the audience, but Prince or Ali, I don't know if you have any last questions.
No, no, no. I think we really covered a lot. Thank you very much, representative from Unidex. Sorry, I forgot your name. You guys are building something really great, and I look forward to more developments from you guys and also getting involved with your product. That's really great.
Thank you.
So I don't know if Ali has something to say. And also, in the absence of many other questions, I think we'll be rounding up very soon.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
just I think I have asked my share of questions, and it was a very interactive session. And especially, I wanted to ask about the vision of this project because When I was trying to find a competitor for UniDex, I wasn't able to find a competitor that fulfills the promise UniDex is promising currently to its users. So that is why I think it is a very promising project, and I'll definitely be personally looking to it. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the PE ratio for this project is pretty good, and that is something I would be looking into as well. Um, that's it, and thank you very much for answering our questions. And if anyone else has any sort of questions, please feel free to step up, or we're gonna be rounding it up soon.
Yeah, if I don't see any, if there's no questions, I can just give the my final remarks. What I can
Yes,
think.
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Well, hey, I really appreciate not only you guys for, setting this up, but also the Metis community being so embracing for the project. Once we deployed, we had already a few people just instantly come into our chat and show their support and love, and that's something that we were really happy to see. We love it when we see that user adoption, go up, especially since we're still a small project, right? Um, so it means a lot to us. And the only other thing that's just as valuable is your feedback. Um, so if people do have the time today, and you are going to check out Unidex, I would encourage you to stop. It's the leverage sharing protocol. It's fairly easy to access. It's just leverage.unidex.exchange. Give us your feedback. Tell us how we can improve the experience, the UI, the mobile experience, whatever it may be. Just let us know. That's something that we're really trying to do here. Just build the best possible experience for anyone and everyone. And it really means a lot to us. And above all, thank you for just also giving us the time. That's something that we've never been really been able to ask for. And we love that. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. I think we have someone in the speaker row who wants to say something. OG Petros. I don't know if I got that right. Please unmute your mic and speak.
Hi everyone. Um, I just hopped into the space. I really want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Yeah, everything DeFi with UniDex Finance. I never really got what UniDex was talking about because I just came late. Yeah, I just came late. So I don't really know. Can you just kind of come up and probably say
That's
one or two
okay.
on the
That's
project?
Petrus, that's okay. We were just about to round up. We had
Okay,
a
okay.
fruitful discussion. Yeah, we had a very fruitful discussion with the guy from the Unidex exchange, and he explained the project uh, in the last 1 hour. And that's not an issue if you joined late, no problem. We would love to welcome you in our next space, and I'll
Okay,
be
okay,
personally
then.
saying, yeah, yeah. So now you actually owe us a few questions in our next space, eh?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Um, All right, thank you very much for that, Ali. OG Petros, don't worry, you have nothing to be
Yeah, bro.
worried about. Yeah, you have nothing to be worried about because the space is actually recorded. So, like Ali said, we've actually spent 1 hour. We don't want to keep people waiting longer than that. And also, I'm pretty sure, Unidex, I mean, the person behind the owner founder. Sorry, I'm saying this. I don't remember your name again. I think I'll come back to ask for that.
It's
Just tell
Kernal
me.
Amin.
You said
Kernal Amin.
Connor. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Connor. So, Connor's actually spent the last 1 hour explaining. Trust me, Antonia, and Ali, we actually give him tough time explaining what Unidex is. So, I'm pretty sure, like this, like I said, the space is recorded, right? So after the space, you can go ahead and listen. And we host the Metis Ambassador space community space. Sorry, every week, every Thursday. So you can actually come back to ask your questions, or after listening, you can as well go to like the Unidex community and chat with the support there. I'm pretty sure they'll be ever ready to help you out with that. That cool.
No
OG.
problem. Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Alright, sure. Thank you very much. Sophia Samson, I see you on the speaker list. Sophia. All right, I think Sophia Samson is not with us. So um and then Kono, I think you were giving your closing remark before. Why are you done with that?
Oh yeah, no, I'm done with that.
All right, sure. So Anthony, I think we can end the space now. I don't think Sophia is with us.
Yeah, definitely. Really appreciate you, Kunal, for joining us and explaining Unidex very thoroughly. I really respect and appreciate and love the what you're building and the ethos behind what you're building. It seems it's a universal tool for traders and not like a predatory scheme or anything of that nature. And it seems like it's really for the people and really for the traders and to really decentralize the trading experience, so we can all enjoy it without without the other pitfalls we go through centralized exchanges and just a centralized economy and everything. So, and I appreciate everybody else for being here. Join us next week. We will have another special guest, and thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you all.
Yeah, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.